Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things with their daughters. I'm glad, I'm sure you're glad, like Bruce Willis has dementia right now.
The latest bombshell involving Demi Moore is the stuff of tabloid nightmares. Leaked footage, a shady attorney, infamous late-night parties, and underage guests are all wrapped in a twisted bow that might just destroy some of Tinseltown's biggest reputations. Could the truth about the parties behind those heavily guarded gates be darker than anyone ever imagined?
How does Vlad make it on to Pierce Morgan and none of his very nefarious comes up? You're being promoted by child pedo people. You're doing business with child pedo people. You are co-signing child pedo people and you're not one. It's weird.
A high-profile attorney, Tony Busby, claims to have in his hands video evidence that will change how we look at Demi and the entire Hollywood elite. Now, whether this footage is real or just another wild exaggeration, only time will tell. But let's be clear, if there's even a shred of truth to these claims, Demi's name and career might be about to face their biggest challenge yet.
All of those, while they may have been embarrassing and humiliating, it's what I did to myself because of that.
Really? You know what's wild? Seeing a celebrity caught with their guard down in some scandalous interview is one thing, but hearing about their involvement in those notorious gatherings, that's another level entirely. We're talking about secrets buried so deep nobody, and I mean nobody, ever thought they'd see the light.
She corroborated the fact that she saw the very videotapes that I said were about to be sold right here on this couch just a couple months ago. Why is everyone so late?
Day. Oh my gosh, remember Demi Moore, one of Hollywood's brightest stars, always flashing that $1 million smile on the red carpet. She was the ultimate cool older woman with Ashton Kutcher right by her side. But honey, with these accusations coming out now, people are starting to connect the dots, and let me tell you, the questions they're asking, not pretty at all. Could our favorite fun-loving, rule-breaking A-lister have been mixed up in something way darker behind those glamorous scenes? Here's the tea. Demi kept running into certain people at these exclusive Hollywood events over the years. Back then, nobody batted an eye. It was just another day in the Hollywood shuffle, right? Wrong. Things are looking so much shadier now. When Ashton and Demi were together, let me tell you, Ashton was practically joined at the hip with certain people, partying until the sun came up. He even said his relationship with Demi tamed his wild nights. But darling, we've got to wonder now, was Demi being pulled into a world she didn't fully understand?
Okay, one more time.
And listen to this. Busby claims he's got footage that could link Hollywood's elite, yes, including Demi, to moments that'll make your jaw hit the floor. We're not talking about the innocent fun you think of when someone mentions celebrity parties. No, no, no. This is something else entirely. A world so far removed from those picture-perfect smiles we see in interviews and on red carpets. If these claims have any truth to them, Demi's carefully crafted Hollywood persona could crumble faster than a house of cards. And what about Ashton? Did his connections drag Demi into something she wasn't ready for? Everyone knows Demi's had a rough ride. She's been incredibly open about it. That traumatic betrayal she wrote about in her memoir. Heartbreaking. But it makes you think. Did those painful experiences somehow shape her choices? Did they make her more vulnerable to the influences swirling around her, especially those that might have led her into these exclusive circles? Suddenly, everything about her past, the difficult upbringing, the struggles, those wild romances, it's all starting to look like pieces of a much darker...
Living in Africa and your little infant child just gets bit by a mosquito and he dies. You know what I'm saying? It's really that real. Those are our brothers and sisters. I know they're not close to us right here, but they with us. They with us in our hearts. And we got to take care of some malaria no more. Ashton's organization. Give it up for Ashton Kutcher one time. That's why we're here. The whole UN, malaria no more. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that we also buy some of those t-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Puzzle. Oh my goodness. And now Demi's controversial relationship with Ashton Kutcher is back under the microscope. Remember that age gap that had everyone gossiping? Well, honey, it's not just tabloid fodder anymore. Ashton and certain people were thick as thieves. Some even joked that his relationship with Demi made him mellow out, less likely to join in their wilder escapades. But let me tell you something. No one's laughing now. People are wondering if Ashton's connections might have dragged Demi into this scandalous mess without her even realizing what she was getting herself into. And Busby? He's claiming he's got footage, real, undeniable footage, that could be the final nail in the coffin for Demi's Hollywood career. But wait, it gets better, or should I say worse? He's not just pointing fingers at Demi. He's got more A-listers on his list. And this is where things get really, really dark. Hollywood's always been known for its secrets, but this isn't your typical celebrity scandal. We're talking about secret recordings, questionable activities, and people who were either neck deep in it all or turned a blind eye when things got messy. If Demi's involvement turns out to be true, baby, we might be looking at the end of her Hollywood run. Not just her cool girl image, but her entire career. There are whispers that this could become the biggest Hollywood scandal we've ever seen. And of course, certain individuals are drowning in their own avalanche of legal troubles. We're way past your usual celebrity scandal. We're talking about serious charges, accusations of illegal activities involving underage individuals. It's getting messier by the minute. Demi getting linked to these allegations? That's a whole new twist on these ongoing scandals. If she gets dragged into this case, oh honey, trust me, it'll be a spectacle none of us can look away from. But here's the really chilling part. Rumors are flying that more of Hollywood's elite could be tied to this case. If that happens, well, the consequences would be absolutely earth-shattering. Look, Demi's weathered a lot of storms, addiction, rocky relationships, family drama. She's been totally open about how her mother's addiction issues and her own battles hit her hard. No wonder people are wondering if all these past traumas made her more vulnerable to those dangerous circles she found herself in. When she married Ashton Kutcher, things took such a turn. After 20 years of staying sober, 20 years, she let her guard down. Ashton convinced her to drink again during that Mexico trip. And from there, everything spiraled. Her choices didn't just affect her, they rippled out to her daughters. And now, they might have another dark chapter to deal with as their mom's name gets tangled up in these messy allegations. This isn't just about Demi's Hollywood career anymore. It's about her family, her legacy, everything she's fought for.
You know, I don't know. Let me just think about that. I don't know if there's any one moment that jumps to mind to really give you as an example, but anything that I think challenges a limitation, but in particular the things that really push you into your vulnerability. It's not where any of us are really comfortable, and yet intellectually I know how powerful it is to be in your vulnerability.
Let's be real. Demi used to be Hollywood's wild child. She broke all the rules, partied hard, did things her way. But these recent claims, they're casting a completely different, much darker shadow over all those past choices. Her marriage with Ashton wasn't exactly conventional. She's openly talked about their open boundary relationship. Talk about blurred lines. Now fans are left wondering, did that attitude lead her straight into questionable situations? Did Ashton's friendships open doors that Demi should have kept firmly shut? Ashton himself has been pretty tight-lipped, but get this, he's hinted that he knows way more than he's letting on. In a recent interview, he literally laughed nervously when asked about Diddy's parties, saying there were some things he just couldn't talk about. So what exactly did Ashton see at those gatherings? And more importantly, was Demi right there by his side? It's no secret that Ashton was close to Diddy. And honey, it's definitely no secret that Demi's name is now being thrown into this messy mix. And Busby, he claims he's got footage, real, undeniable footage, that could link Demi directly to Diddy's infamous parties. If Busby really has what he says he has, this could be curtains for Demi's career as we know it. But here's the million-dollar question. Is she truly guilty of anything more than being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Could she just be another victim of Hollywood's relentless rumor mill? Or is there something darker lurking beneath the surface? And let's not forget about Ashton. His ties to Diddy are under the microscope like never before. Being friends with someone caught up in a scandal is one thing, but being caught up in it yourself? That's a whole different ballgame. Ashton's been dodging questions left and right, but it's looking like his silent act might not cut it much longer. Get this. Reports are saying the prosecution has interviewed over 50 people connected to Diddy's gatherings. And these aren't just random people. Many of them claim they saw things that line up perfectly with all these allegations. With this many witnesses coming forward, this case could shake Hollywood down to its foundations, especially considering how many celebrities allegedly attended these events. Could Ashton, who, let's not forget, co-founded an anti-trafficking organization, really be mixed up in something that goes against everything he claims to stand for? No wonder people are side-eyeing his true intentions. His involvement in these scandals, plus his controversial support for his former co-star Danny Masterson? It's not a good look, honey. And don't even get me started on how Ashton and Mila wrote those support letters for Masterson, even after he was accused of multiple assaults. The backlash they faced for that decision? Child's play compared to what might be coming if Ashton gets caught up in this current mess. The past is coming back to haunt them all. Their friendship, once all fun and games, is now casting this long, dark shadow. Old interviews are popping up everywhere, and people are analyzing every single word Ashton ever said about those parties. His nervous laughter and dodgy answers, not helping his case at all. Is it just awkward behavior, or does he really know more than he's letting on? Then there's Demi, her struggles with addiction, that rocky relationship with Ashton, her connection to Diddy. Everything's under the microscope now. Everything she's ever done is being viewed through this completely different lens, and honey, none of it looks good. It's honestly heartbreaking to see someone who's already been through so much have to deal with this level of scrutiny. But this isn't just about Demi or Ashton anymore. This is about Hollywood as a whole. It's about the dark side of fame and what happens when you're part of an elite circle where the rules just don't seem to apply. As this investigation into Diddy keeps going, Demi Moore's involvement is still this big question mark. Could she have known what was happening behind those closed doors? Could she have been part of it? Or was she just another pawn in this much bigger, darker game? Truth is, we might never know the whole story. Hollywood has this way of burying its secrets, and even when they do come out, the real story gets twisted and spun until it's impossible to know what's real and what's just gossip. But one thing's crystal clear. The days of Hollywood's elite hiding behind their glamorous facades, those days are numbered. So is Demi Moore really wrapped up in something as dark as these allegations suggest? Or is she just caught in this whirlwind of accusations and terrible timing? Only time will tell. But honey, one thing's for sure. This story is far from over. And the truth, whatever it may be, is going to shake Hollywood to its core. Listen up, because I'm about to spill some serious tea about Diddy's infamous parties. These weren't just any gatherings. We're talking exclusive, invite-only mayhem that had every celebrity absolutely obsessed. This is where the red carpets ended and the real chaos began. All those pristine white outfits, they weren't just about the dress code. They were the perfect metaphor for how everyone tried to keep their reputation squeaky clean while diving headfirst into some of the wildest, most hush-hush stuff you could imagine. And oh my God, the guest list? Everyone from A-list movie stars to reality show regulars was dying to get in. Take Jennifer Lopez. Yes, J-Lo herself was a regular, and let's not pretend it's a coincidence given her history with Diddy. Remember those early 2000s power couple days? Their breakup didn't stop her from showing up all glammed out with that "I'm here for the vibe" attitude, even if that vibe meant mingling with her ex and sipping cocktails that were anything but innocent. Lil' Kim, with her larger-than-life presence, was another one of those guests who fit right in at Diddy's parties. You could bet she made her entrance known every single time. And Chris Brown? Well, he was there to remind everyone that he's still a big deal, whether by dancing or by just being in the middle of whatever drama happened to pop off that night. Mary J. Blige, a legend. She was probably there with a mix of "I'm here for the music" and "I'm not here for your nonsense." And Snoop Dogg? Of course he was there too, because what's a party without Uncle Snoop? You know he had a blunt in hand and was just chilling, enjoying himself without a care in the world. The list just goes on and on, whether it was Jonah Hill trying to be low-key funny or Estelle enjoying the scene. Diddy's parties weren't just events. They were the place where everyone, A-listers, B-listers, whoever, wanted to be. The appeal was never just about the music or the setting or even Diddy himself. It was about the unpredictability, the vibe, the chance that something wild could happen. And more often than not, it did. Imagine the hidden corners of these parties, private lounges, side rooms where deals were made, alliances were formed or broken. Nothing was ever just surface level with Diddy's parties. It was a social chessboard with every guest trying to make their move, whether it was to elevate their social status, rekindle old flames, or just see and be seen. So what do you think? Could this footage of Demi Moore at Diddy's party be the truth behind Hollywood's darkest secrets? Or is it all just a smoke show? Let us know your thoughts below. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy diving into the drama.